Good afternoon and welcome to our podcast, PHA's podcast, Homeopathy for Camping and Festivals. I'm so excited to hear what Rebecca has to say and the remedies that she advises for us during these summer periods and, perhaps going into autumn as well. If you're like me, you might get a few allergies outside and maybe have 1 or 2 glasses of wine that you shouldn't have. So I'm really hoping that Rebecca can help me out on this one, and lots of wisdom and advice as usual. If you're a regular viewer for PHA's podcasts and Zooms and workshops, you'll know Rebecca already. If you haven't, the links to all the previous chats will be there and all the amazing information she shares. So without any further ado, welcome, Rebecca. So lovely to see you again.
Thank you, Kerry. Lovely to see you again too. And I'm delighted to present this little podcast around camping and festivals. I've just been to a festival this weekend, so it feels very pertinent. Just to give a little bit of background as to why I might be the person who can give this information. I'm a qualified homeopath of 30 years. I've spent 20 years volunteering doing homeopathy in townships in South Africa, where I also set up schools in the townships. And I'm currently in Bath working at Bath Natural Remedies, and I have an online practice as well. So let's get into it. And definitely, Kerry, we're going to help you with hangovers and hay fevers and those sort of things. I'm going to cover hangovers, hay fevers, sunstroke, and also tick bites. So those are the 4 things that really came up this weekend at the festival. So
Brilliant.
that would be the best thing for us. So I think you can see the hangover slide. Is that correct? Can you see?
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
Great. So we're going to be looking at coffea, ipecac, and nux vomica. And as in my previous webinars I've done with PHA, and in fact, all the teaching I do, I'm going to be using mind maps. So if you're wanting to follow this and study along with us, get 11 pieces of paper, and the first 3 are coffea, ipecac, and nux vomica. And if they're in the Helios 18 kit, you will find that I enlarge on those each time. So nux vomica so we will get a little bit more on nux vomica. However, we are looking at hangovers and toxic feelings. So our first remedy is coffea. Now, coffea is made from coffee, of course, coffea, coffee. And so you get these coffee caffeine headaches that are intolerable. Worse from motion, noise, and light. Even the scalp is so sensitive you can't touch it. That sort of headache. And it's often one-sided. The stomach then it won't be able to bear tight clothes around the stomach, and there's much pressure in the abdomen, and they have colic and cramps. And as you can imagine, with coffea being coffee, they're quite excitable, jittery, full of ideas, which, as you can imagine, would bring on some sort of insomnia when, the coffee will keep you awake and sort of elevate you. And so now your mind is racing full of ideas. So it's also that sort of toxic coffee feeling, not the nice coffee feeling.
You can't even sleep by feeling so rubbish because you're on.
Exactly. You're like, so coffea is the remedy. So it's you're full of toxins, basically. Okay, so the next remedy is ipecac. So the head has a headache as if the brain was bruised. Now, ipecac is a great hemorrhage remedy, but also a great stomach remedy. So the nausea and the vomiting, they feel better vomiting outside. There's an enormous accumulation of saliva. It is distressing, the nausea. They want to vomit, and if they can't, the saliva keeps running. And if they do vomit, they want to vomit again. It never relieves them. And obviously they have absolutely zero appetite. Ooh. And I know, horrible. And their mental and emotional state is they're sulky, impatient, hard to please, and everything's wrong. They're hypochondriacs. So that's a small picture of ipecac in relation to hangovers. You can sort of see the hangover toxic sort of behavior. And then the sort of headline hangover remedy, Nux vomica, that I did a little bit of trialing with this many years ago when I used to drink. I don't drink anymore.
Nux vom is the only one I've heard of, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
If you take it before you go out for a night on the town, let's say, you can actually drink more, but you feel worse. So I wouldn't recommend it before you go out. It's a liver support. So I don't know, it just, you could drink more, but then of course you feel terrible. So when you get home, or if you remember, Nux vomica is a great hangover remedy. So again, toxic headaches from drugs or alcohol, even moving their eyes make them feel worse. They have vertigo and they are very irritable. They have indigestion from alcohol, constipation, and when they do have a poo, they feel as if there's some left behind. So unsatisfactory stool, that is known as. They have nausea and vomiting every morning. The liver is really compromised in this particular picture, and they have much retching with the nausea and vomiting. And so what and then mental and emotional. They're very irritable. They cannot bear noises, smells, or light. Angry and impatient. They can have delirium tremens. It's great for drug addicts, insomnia from abuse of stimulants, and they may wake at 3 a.m., which is the liver time.
Ah, makes sense.
Yeah. And I use this remedy in conjunction with sulfur, 30 Cs for both. For 4 days, you take the Nux vomica at 8 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, the sulfur at 11 in the morning and 8 at night, or as near as possible. And this helps clean up the blood, the liver. It's a really nice detox without too much impact on the body, because it's very supportive. And then I just did a little overview of all the 3 remedies that I've looked at, so you can quickly see the differences between them.
That's
and
brilliant.
you'll get all these PDFs as they come along. Right, I'm going to get rid of this. And as
Rebecca,
usual,
it does make you think. I never want to be in that position to feel like
which one? Sorry, Kerry.
any of them. Never want to feel that ill that I need. But it's really useful to have, and like you say, the gentle detox as well.
Very nice, exactly. Right, so let me go to new share. So I'm going to hay fever. Tell me if you see this, Kerry.
I do.
Okay, good. Why can't I see it? Okay, maybe I need to get rid of you. Okay, now I've got you. Where are you? Hay fever. Let's go there. Okay, so now we're moving on to hay fever, and there's some lovely stories I've got to tell you about this. This is a combination remedy. So this is 3 remedies put together: allium cepa, arsenicum, and sabadilla. Now, this is a generalized combination which covers the picture of many hay fever symptoms, which you'll see as I go through the 3. And it's not normal homeopathy. We try to be specific, but it is very useful in hay fever. I find this particular combination. So we're going to look at allium cepa first, and I'm going to put all 3 remedies onto the screen eventually so you see them all. Okay. So the eyes are burning, itching, red, sensitive to light, and they're running, lacrimation. And allium cepa is made from onion, and when you cut an onion, you can have the burny eyes and the running eyes and the runny nose and all of that. So this is why it's such a good remedy. The nose drips and you sneeze, and there's a profuse watery discharge with sneezing, sinusitis, nasal discharge, which can excoriate, which means burn the upper lip. So you might see these like red marks on the upper lip. Do you know this?
Yes, I've seen people like that. Yeah.
Correct. And in the throat, there's hoarseness and tickling in the larynx. And now I'm going to look at arsenicum. So the eyes are burning with hot, acrid watery eyes, and they have intense photophobia, sensitivity to light.
Mm-hmm.
The nose has a thin, watery, again, burning discharge, and they're worse in the open air. And the nose is burning and itching, and they sneeze without relief. The throat is sore, and they want warm drinks, and it is dry, and it's sore, and they have a burning pain in their throat. There's often a lot of burning in arsenic and burning sensations. The chest is wheezing and whistling, and they have a shortness of breath. And this is a very good asthma remedy.
Ah.
Yep. And they are mentally and emotionally, as we've seen before in the previous webinars I've done. So I've put in purple: restlessness, anxious, nervous, anxiety about health, dirt, disease, and death. They want everything clean. And now sabadilla. So their eyes are red, and they have the burning eyelids, redness of the margins. The nose, spasmodic sneezing with a runny nose, lots of runny snot, and they're oversensitive to odor. The throat is better for warm food and drink. So there's the picture of them all. And sorry, there's itching of the soft palate. You often hear that. I can't even.
Me, I get that really itch, and you can't scratch it. You can't scratch your ears.
That's it. That's the itching of the soft palate.
Uh,
So we gave this remedy quite frequently this weekend at a festival. We had a homeopathic tent, and a woman came in, and I was helping her, and she said her son was writhing around on the floor of the tent, really struggling with hay fever. She didn't know what to do, and I made her this combination. And she went back to her tent and gave the remedy, and I saw her about half an hour, 45 minutes later, and she said, as she gave the remedy, her son jumped off the floor and is running around playing.
Brilliant.
That fast.
Wow.
We had those stories went out across the festival, and we had loads of people coming in to get the hay fever remedy.
So would you, forgive me, you might have just said this, but do you just give all three remedies
So
in a day?
Helios or Ainsworth will make up a combo. It's a very common hay fever combination remedy. Now, if you specifically know that it's tree pollens you're allergic to, or grasses, or molds, or something like that, you can actually get the specific remedy, which is much more effective. I mean, this is not ineffective, but it's much more effective if you address the individual situation of the patient. So you can actually get mixed pollens, you can get tree pollens, grasses, molds, all different types of things that aggravate.
This is great, isn't it? Because if you're going to a festival and you don't actually know what's there with the shrubs and things, this covers all.
This covers it all. It really does. It's like I said, it's not usual homeopathy. It's not something I usually do, but this is a remarkable combination. So I would highly recommend it.
Great.
Okay, so we've done hangover, hay fever. So now I'm going to find new share. So sunstroke, which is optimistic, I feel.
Yes.
However, we must address these things.
We live in hope.
I didn't get a lot of this at the weekend, sunstroke. However, I've treated it a lot in South Africa, so this is useful information. One of the things I just want to mention before I go into the remedies is sun lotion contains petroleum. I haven't used sun lotion for years and years and years because of this, because 60% of what we put on our skin we absorb, and petroleum is a known carcinogen. So I would highly recommend you don't, or try and find some natural alternative. In South Africa, the women put clay on their skin and faces to stop themselves burning. But obviously a hat and long sleeves are very sensible. You know, that'll work, I promise you.
Yeah.
Okay, so sunstroke and sunburn, and we are going to be, oh, sorry about the small words, they should be bigger. Aconite, belladonna, and natrum carb are the 3 remedies we're going to look at here. So aconite, we've seen aconite before, fabulous aconite. So with sunburn or sunstroke, their eyes will feel hot, dry, and swollen. The head is hot and heavy with a bursting sensation. And again, we've got this scalp sensitive to touch. The stomach, they vomit with fear. They're terrified. This is a big fear remedy. So they vomit when they're fearful. And they are hot with profuse sweat. Their temperature, they have cold waves that pass through them with the high fevers, and they are thirsty and restless. They're shocked, fearful, foreboding, this is going to kill me. They say things like that, I'm going to die because of this. They're really in a panic. They're terror-struck. Again, this restless mind, restless body, and they are despairing from the pains. Sunstroke can, as we know, I mean, like anything, like vomiting, whatever it is, we can just feel so terrified by it. Belladonna, now this is a much more intense, I would say, picture of sunstroke, and belladonna is used a lot for sunstroke.
I didn't know that.
Sorry?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is, because it's so hot. I think when we did the first aid webinar, there's a 3-legged stool with belladonna, red, hot, and mad, and that's how you feel with sunstroke or sunburn. So the eyes are red, throbbing, staring, and they feel swollen and protruding. Even if they are not, the patient will report that. They have congestive headaches with a red face because their skin is so burnt. And the headache is hot and hammering. It's like a throbbing, boof, 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 that sort of, you can imagine it. Worse from light, noise, jarring, and laying down. They don't want to even lay down. They have uncontrollable vomiting and throbbing, and the heat is felt in the stomach. They have a high fever without thirst. So aconite wants the water, belladonna is thirstless. They have a hot head but cold limbs. They can be delirious. They're so hot. It's a massive fever remedy, belladonna, anyway. And so there's this, when they have a high fever, they can dream all sorts of things, they see all sorts of things, they can hallucinate from the heat. They are raging, restless, and like I say, they can hallucinate with the heat. And then natrum carbonicum. They have photophobia. Again, we're looking at the sunstroke and sunburn. Photophobia, burning pain in the eyes with dryness, headaches from exposure to sunlight or hot weather. And this also includes when there's a lot of artificial light and you get headaches from artificial light. Stomach retching, nausea, and heaviness and pressure in the stomach. And they have a chill. They can be chilled with cold hands and hot cheeks, or the reverse, hot hands, cold cheeks, and heat with great debility. And then finally, there are the 3 remedies, so you can quickly see them. Did that all make sense? Is that a bit overwhelming?
No. I was just listening to take it all in. What I was just thinking was how brilliant, by taking one remedy, painful head and stomach issues and fever. Whereas if you think of allopathic, you would be taking 4 or 5 different things to combat. So, and then that's just putting a plaster on, usually not solving the problem. So
I once was sent to a pharmacist to get some drugs for a friend of mine, and I hadn't done that for years and years. And when I got to the front of the queue at the chemist, I said, okay, so he's got a sore throat on the left side, a headache which seems to come through the eyes. So I gave all like homeopathic symptoms, and he looked at me like as if I was mad and gave me like 4 boxes, and I'm like, this is crazy. It's so not individualized. Anyway,
and all the side effects, because that's one thing you don't have with homeopathy, isn't it?
no, gentle, elegant. It just works like a charm. I wish one day I'll get to tell the story of a child I saw this weekend, which was just remarkable. Okay, so finally, let's get the new share. Whoops, that one. Tick and insect bites. There we go. And I get rid of that. I'm getting proficient, Carrie, at this.
You're brilliant. And this is a really interesting one for me, because I think probably like a lot of people, I'm quite fearful of going to doctors and hospitals at the moment, and I react to bites. So I'm really excited about this.
Okay, cool. I'm happy to hear. I'm only doing 2 remedies with this one, actually. I thought about adding a third one, which is aconite, actually, because of the shock and the fear, which you could give first before you do anything, before you give these 2 remedies. So I give both of these remedies, but I'm going to look at them separately so you understand why. Okay. So we've seen Ledum before in the first aid remedies. So Ledum is brilliant for puncture wounds, points going in. So a sting, a tick, even barbed wire, I think we talked about before. So that point going in, a needle.
Mm-hmm.
And the skin, because of the puncture wound, the bite is sensitive to the touch. They'll put cold water on it without even knowing about it. And the pains shoot and throb. The sensation is prickling, biting, and itching. So a massive thing in homeopathy, the sensation of what is going on for the person. Other things that Ledum is useful for are eye injuries, rheumatism in the lower limbs, and painful soles. And again, there's shooting pains and throbbing, and they would be better for cold. And then silica, the skin is unhealthy and every injury suppurates. So pusses or something's coming out.
Nice.
Silica promotes expulsion of foreign bodies from tissues. So the remainder of the tick head will come out.
Oh, okay.
But it also means if you've got false boobs, Kerry, they're coming out.
Well, lucky I haven't then.
Just thought I'd mention it, mate. So if you have a pacemaker, a hip replacement, silica promotes expulsion of foreign bodies. And I've got a little story about this. I had a 70-ish-year-old patient when I was studying years ago. And on a Sunday morning, he phoned me. Normally, when people phone me on a Sunday morning, it's because they've got a seriously hectic head. And I would just now, anyway, another story. Anyway, he phones me and I put him on silica. I can't remember why, but I put him on silica and he said, Rebecca, a tiny piece of bullet has come out of my leg. He was in the Second World War. He'd totally forgotten he'd been shot in the leg and they couldn't get the piece of shrapnel out and it had come out with the silica.
Wow.
So it pushes foreign objects out.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so splinters, like I say, tick heads, thorns, anything like that, it will push out. Sensations, as if a splinter in the skin. So you feel like there's something in there, spiky. The other thing silica will do is ripen abscesses. The discharges are offensive. They are cold, want of vital heat. They are faint, anxious, and they have a loss of self-confidence. This is a massive polycrest in homeopathy. So again, I've put the 2 remedies together. And what I do is I give them not together as a combination as the hay fever remedy, but I will give Ledum and silica to alternate because of the damage to the skin with the point going in and to push anything out that is no longer required.
Wow.
And it's like a charm.
So do we talk about dosage on this?
I would always recommend a 30C. That's all I used this weekend. Everything was 30Cs. Yeah.
Brilliant. And just,
Oh, and dosage, sorry, you mean like repetition?
oh yeah, and yeah, both, if that's okay.
Of course. Let me just get rid of
Sorry
that.
to interrupt. I
No,
just
no, please, you're not interrupting. So dosage, I mean, look, I mean, the hay fever kid, he had 1 dose. So you don't really need to give any more unless you see the symptoms again.
yeah.
With the tick bites, I would say you probably need to go 3 times a day to get the muck out, maybe 2-3 days. If it's all gone, stop taking them. You don't need to take it anymore. There's for me, if it gets worse, you stop. If it gets better, you stop. Those are the 2 sort of rules that I tend to follow. Yeah, does that answer your question?
It does. And sorry, I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time, but I'm just thinking if people watching this and you instantly think ticks and you think of animals, pets, and I wonder if Leadom could be used on your pets.
Absolutely. Put it in the drinking water. Just, yeah, give it. It's fantastic for animals. In fact, I met a great homeopathic vet a couple of weekends ago at another festival I was doing homeopathy at, and yeah, no, he uses homeopathy all the time. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, no, homeopathy works fantastically on animals and babies, of course.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been really fascinating. And I want to talk to you more and I want you to teach us more.
I
Honestly.
will do whatever you want, Kerry. I'm here for you, baby.
Thank you. Honestly, the information, and I'm just blown away. So thank you very, very much.
Pleasure.
So we put
Nice
all
to
your
chat.
contact details attached. Yeah,
Yeah.
so anyone can get hold of you, email addresses and your clinic details.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Pleasure.
Until
Thank you.
next time.